Man, I love these quick starts on these live jams now that Streamlabs is kind of perfected. I would assume quality's gotten a little bit better. Life is getting better. We have a new leader. I know all of you aren't a fan of politics and beer, but I think the result was pretty awesome, pretty fair, pretty decisive, and it's pretty good. You know what's also awesome? Beer mail. Beer mail, not just beer mail, because all beer mail is exciting. Who doesn't want beer mail? It's one of the best things that can ever happen. But surprise beer mail. Surprise beer mail is actually one of my favorite beer mails. And this is surprise beer mail. This comes from my boy Jason. He sent me beers previously. He actually sent me a bunch of beers from a brewery called Civil Life. And there were all these kind of old school beers. All these kind of, Pilsner, lager, kind of cream ale, red IPA. All that stuff that people don't make. And not only were they old school, they were really, really, really good. So I was super pumped to try all those. And lo and behold, today, magically, another box has landed. What's in this one, you ask? Let's go and find out. So yeah, let's give this a little cut open. We'll see what's what. No idea what's going on here. Like I said, he didn't tell me this was coming, so this is a surprise to me. So there could be a human head in here, but I'll tell you what. As we all know, the human head weighs 8 pounds. And this doesn't weigh 8 pounds, so maybe it's a small head. Who knows? Let's see what's going on here. Awesome wrapping on this one. Look at this. A little bubble wrap. Nice little secured package. What do I feel? I think we got two. Two, Utah. Two. I think we got 2 beers up in here. I just redid my studio today. Me and the wife got a new carpet. And, or not new carpet, a new rug for our living room. So I brought that in here and decided to kind of deep clean my whole space. And I love it in here now. It's super cozy. I'm kind of pumped about this now. So we'll see what's what. Let's just rip into this the old Neanderthal style and reveal what looks like 2 more Civil Life beers. Okay. Let's see if we can get these going. Put a little pull tab on that. I like the styling. Look at this. This is probably the cleanest unboxing I've done in quite some time. And then first up we have their ESB, because I don't like ESBs. ESB style ale. Let's see. It is our traditional ESB balances English malt richness with a subtle rustic hop note. Blurry. I know my camera is not the best, even though it should look better. Your printer, you need to talk to your printer, Civil Life. This label came off a little bit shaky, so they need to dial in their settings a little bit on their printing press. And number two, for those playing along at home, we have Burton on Holt Ale. Eats Meast West. Okay, our full-bodied English winter warmer. From Burton on Trent with notes of caramel, marmalade, toast, and toffee. Pairs well with old friends and a crackling hearth. What's the ABV in this? I might drink this right now because I want this so bad. Okay, this is can 1028. Holy shit, it's fresh as fuck. I don't see an ABV. So they called it Burton on Holt Ale. I mean, knowing my limited exposure, that's a great label too. I don't mind their kind of classic label, which is the same thing over and over again, but this one's something about it. Old English town. I like the repurposed cans because you can see they used. There's a different beer. I don't know what beer it is. Let's see what it is. We'll put the label back on. They repurposed the can, and it's Tallgrass. Oh, it's from another brewery too. Tallgrass Brewing Company, Coastal Fusion. So that was kind of funny when you get stuff like that. Anyway, yeah. I don't know what this is, but I'm probably going to review this tonight. Not live on the air, but I'm probably going to, after this, kind of do this because I'm in the mood for something malty. And it sounds like it's going to foot the bill. So there you go. Thank you very much, Jason, for the surprise mail, brother. I can't wait to dive into these. I mean, honestly, the last set of Civil Life beers I had were so good that, honestly, if these aren't absolutely fantastic, I don't know what to say because they absolutely crushed it with what I've had from them on the old school beer tip. That if you're telling me they're throwing an ESB and a caramel English old style ale at me, if these don't suck, that would be, what's the word I'm looking right now? Reverse that. If these suck, I'm going to be epically surprised. If these don't suck, that means they're going to be awesome, which is what I fully expect. So there you go. Preconceived notions in the books. But there you go. Quick little unboxing. I'm going to try to go live this weekend at some time. I'm not sure when I'm going to go live. I kind of want to do it now, but I just don't want to do it alone, and I want to do a little bit of research first. I have to go live because for those who don't know, Shelton Brothers. Shelton Brothers is no more. And it's like, I don't think people fully grasp the importance of that. For those that don't know who Shelton Brothers is, I actually reviewed a Shelton Brothers beer for kind of reminiscing and sadness right now. And this is Baron Brewing. This is their Bière de Garde. You can see down there it says imported by Shelton Brothers, Bleachertown, Massachusetts. Shelton Brothers was one of, if not the most important figure in beer for many, many years. You take your old school breweries, your Sierra Nevadas and the Bells and Dogfish Head and all that stuff, and they absolutely are on the Mount Rushmore of what made beer work in the United States. But I really think you do need to put Shelton Brothers on that list also. They're an importer of beer, and you're like, okay, whatever, they import beers, but you have to understand, they imported some of the biggest breweries that nowadays are hyper coveted. Dre Fontaine, Cantillon, Fantôme, De La Seine. The list goes. Du Ciel. They used to do a brewery to IJ. They did so much importing of fantastic beers when people didn't want them. If you want to go to my podcast site on SoundCloud, Beer Massive, just type in Beer Massive and you'll find it. We have a couple different Shelton Brothers podcasts that we did with them. Back on the radio show, we did a couple on there. And then I recently, as of the last Shelton Brothers Fest in October, was it this past year? Was it that long? No, that'd be one before that. Good God. I'm so bad at time. But anyway, I interviewed them then, and they're just, they were importing Cantillon, and they couldn't sell it to anybody. No one would buy it. This is in the 80s, and people would buy a case and then immediately bring it back and be like, yeah, there's something wrong with this beer, because they just didn't even fully understand what Lambic and what Saison was. And that's where they started. And they with the influx of hazy beers and pastry stouts, their portfolio was not built around that, and not that they suffered greatly, but they had a decline. And when I talked to them last, you might hear a little bit on the Shelton Brothers Festival podcast that I did with you. Might hear a little bit in Dan's voice in that podcast, but I'll let you know, because it's all in the out and open now. But after that, I might have it recorded, because I don't hit stop on record until I'm leaving. But after the podcast was over, I was sitting there with Dan and Joel and kind of shooting the shit for a hot minute, and Joel left and a couple other people kind of left, and me and Dan just started talking, and he's like, the writing's on the wall, man. He's like, I don't know what we're going to be able to do. He's like, it's just not the way it is, and it's just the business model doesn't work anymore. So, not that Shelton Brothers in their demise it wasn't surprising for me. It still took me back, because I almost forgot about it. Because I just I didn't want to believe it, maybe. But yeah, I kind of knew it was coming, and to have that news dropped on us by Good Beer Hunting, who's the one who broke it, is very sad day in beer, because a lot of people don't realize how important they were. A lot of people, if you got into beer in the late 90s, 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, and you made your hay in old school beer, Trappist ales and Belgian beers and Euro beers, and that's kind of where a lot of us started. You might not even know that Shelton Brothers was that big of an influence on you, but they were. And they're one of the Mount Rushmores of making beer what it was in the United States. And yeah, I just gotta tip my hat to them. So I'm gonna have to do a live stream this weekend, just if for anything, just to reminisce about the beers that I drank from them, that they imported, the conversations I've had with them over the years, the important conversations they've had with other people, and just basically talk about what the impact they made. While they are technically going to be gone, they're never going to be forgotten, and they'll exist in some form or fashion. We'll cover that in the live stream. I actually have a little bit of kind of information on what's going to happen with their portfolio and all that kind of stuff. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, anyway. So there you go. A little bit of unboxing. Thank you very much, Jason, for sending these off. A little bit of reminiscing that kind of teases a little bit of long form reminiscing. Hopefully tomorrow sometime. There you go. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this unboxing. Hopefully you formed like this little kind of just tip of a cap to Shelton Brothers. Hopefully you're drinking some good beer right now.